On the screen, you can see an example of a Proforma sheet produced by a pupil doing National 5 Design and Manufacture. This is the first page that you need to produce in your design assignment. So this video is important because it will show you exactly what is required in order to complete this Proforma sheet. So let's think about what is required here. Basically, when it comes to a Proforma sheet, there are three things that you need to be able to do. You need to, first of all, analyze the brief. You then have to be able to complete research, relevant research, which hopefully should yield information that can then be used to write statements in your specification. So the Proforma sheet itself, just to let you see, if I go to the first page in this flip chart, the Proforma sheet contributes 8 marks to your overall design assignment. 5 marks are awarded for carrying out appropriate research, 3 marks are awarded for incorporating research findings into a specification. The Proforma sheet is really a page where you should really be able to obtain full marks. It's sometimes referred to as a Band C page in the design assignment. This basically means that any candidate who achieves a C pass should be able to obtain full marks in their Proforma sheet. So we're looking for full marks here. And in order to do this, there are certain things that you need to be able to do. You need to know about research methods, different research methods, and you need to know how to implement these research methods. So if we look at this particular example, let's have a look at it in a bit more detail. We've got the SQA problem situation and we've got the associated design brief. So first of all, take the time to read the problem situation and the given design brief, because some of the content here, some points that are made here, you should include in your specification. Like, for example, it refers to a company which specialises in products for teenagers. So this shelf that they want you to design, the target market is basically teenagers. So you want to include a statement that says that in your specification. In the brief, it specifies that the shelf must have a music theme. So once again, that is something that I would put into the specification, and also that the shelf must fit into a box of a particular size. And again, that needs to go into your specification. And just to prove this, if I go to the specification, let's zoom in there, right, we can see that that is the case. There's a statement here taken directly from the brief, has to be no bigger than 500 by 400 by 125 millimeters. And then underneath that, we've got another statement indicating that it has to have a music theme. Okay, but that is only 2 statements in the specification. We need more statements. So in order to generate more statements, you're going to have to complete some relevant research. So in order to do that, you need to use research methods. So in this particular example, what research methods have been used? If I zoom into the top corner here, we can see that it says things I need to research, and then we've got a list of sort of areas that need to be researched, plus the associated research method. So let's just look at the research method. We've got measure, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, ask questions, observations, and ask questions. Now these ask questions, basically that is a questionnaire. So one method that this candidate has definitely decided to use is they're going to use a questionnaire to basically address these issues. The other method, other 2 methods that the candidate is going to use in the research is they're going to measure and record. So that's obviously important. What items is the shelf going to hold? So it's going to hold deodorant cans. So we need to measure some deodorant cans and record these sizes. We also have another method, research method here, which is an observation research method where someone would observe someone using the shelf to see if there was any problems with it. Right, so these are the research methods and these are the issues that are going to be addressed. If we then look at the research methods, we can see, let me just zoom in here a wee bit. No, need to go to zoom. I'll zoom, right. Right, so there is some sketches and pictures of items that are going to be held with associated sizes. We then, on the right hand side here, have the questions, which is part of an overall questionnaire. Let's have a look at some of these questions. We'll zoom in again. So we've got a question here that says, how many different varieties of deodorant do you normally have at one time? And these are the results, which are illustrated in a pie chart. And then this is the conclusion here on the right hand side. The majority of people I observed usually have 3 different varieties of deodorants that they use. I will design the shelf to hold at least 3 cans. So within that part there, we have a questionnaire that includes the results and also includes a conclusion that has been arrived directly from the result. And this is basically what is it's the way in which this candidate has tackled this. If we look at the next question, let's just put this away. If we look at the next question, we can see where would you prefer the shelf to be kept or stored? We've got another pie chart which illustrates the results. I asked where the shelf would be stored. The most popular response was on a mounted on a wall. This wasn't the majority though. I am still going to wall mount so it is out of the way. So you can see that this is obviously some valuable research, and there's also some more questions of a similar nature on the other side of this page. That's something that you can do with your Proforma. You can use both sides of the page. So we've got a whole series of questions here which should yield some useful requirements for the design of this shelf. And if we then look at the specification, you should be able to identify that the conclusions that were taken from the research are then written straight into the specification. Like, for example, it must hold 3 deodorant cans was taken straight from that question. It must be wall mounted was taken straight from that question. So we end up with a specification that has clearly used the research, and that should help to ensure that when you begin the design process, you begin to generate your initial ideas and you develop it towards a solution, that your final solution is going to be suitable and it's going to satisfy the requirements of the client. So that is basically what you need to do when you produce your Proforma sheet. But just to emphasize, you can't do this unless you know how to implement a research method. Like, for example, how do we write a questionnaire? Now, I've produced videos that will show you how to write a questionnaire, so you really need to watch these videos and you need to have a go at producing a questionnaire before you would even tackle your Proforma sheet. Okay, thank you for listening.